Greetings, Dapplings, and welcome back to Factory Town, where in the last episode we set up this industrial, well, town. Actually, I was going to say expansion, but it is a town in its own right, slowly building up. We've even got one house level 7, which I'm very, very proud of. We've still got a lot of growth capacity in terms of our houses. In fact, we've got 11 that we can place down, but I'm holding off on that until we actually need the worker capacity for it. Now, the big thing that we upgraded in the last episode is we actually started producing new types of research. We are currently producing the industrial research, as we are providing iron plates and books, and then taking those industrial research books over to our school. That has allowed us, at this point, to expand a little bit. We can get machinery now. That is going to be a pretty big and important one for us to unlock, as that's going to unlock one of the main components for our victory conditions, the metal conveyor belt. A new recipe for nails, though. That's interesting. Okay, so we can now have our forge only produce iron plates. Now, this is something new to me. I'm not used to seeing multiple different types of recipes, especially recipes that can then be produced in different facilities. So at this point, we could have our forge dedicated to the production of iron plate, because the issue with nails and plate being produced in the forge is nails are easier to produce, so more or less all of the productive effort of the forge goes towards making the nails. Or more specifically, all of the resources. The nails get made as fast as the resources can come in, so there's never a surplus amount of iron ore to make into plates. We do have the productive effort, it's just there's never a time to use it. So instead, we could have the forge alone make plates, and then have the machine shop make some of the nails. That would actually be very, very good. But additionally, we want to start work on some nature research down here. In fact, we kind of want to get into the whole game of making some medicine for our peeps as well. So how about we start off with that instead? So the first thing we're going to need is a little farm. Let's go and find you. There we are. And we can have this farm, well, actually, if we want it to be able to use water automatically, which I kind of do, then we may need to do a little bit of terraforming. Are we going to be able to do that is the question. Can we terraform at all? We can't. So that is usually you would be able to make all kinds of differences, at least insofar as that, you know, just dipping down the terrain just a little bit. But that has, it seems, been removed. At least it might be gated behind some research. So I'm actually completely okay with that. We'll see how that goes for now. But we do need to build this in such a way then that we can have carts come and collect the materials. That being said, actually we could totally have the materials delivered by conveyor belt over to the laboratory. That might well be worth doing. However, I'm going to make a slight adjustment to that plan, and I will tell you why in just a moment. First, I do apologize. I've got a bit of a frog in my throat. Give me just a second. That should help a little bit. There we go. Right, first thing we're going to do is we're going to want to build out some farms for medicine specifically. There we go. That will help. Now, this place is actually already got water. Oh, really? That counted as water tile coverage? Well, that is fantastic. Absolutely marvelous. Now, we're not going to need an awful lot of farmland here. But that being said, since we do have easy access to water, sure, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make a lot of medicine here. So next thing we want to do is we want to find herbs, medical herbs. Now these are expensive, as you probably already noticed, but there we are. That'll do marvelously. Now it would be great if we could get some fertilizer down here as well. The problem with that is it's going to be a little bit more of an issue. We could bring it down in conveyor, but honestly, I think it would probably be better for us to have that delivered via a wagon. Either that or just not worry about it for now. We could probably just not worry about it for now. That being said, it does add an awful lot of improvements to things. So how about instead, I'm going to clean up this ramp over here and actually make it a a cart, or rather wagon-worthy ramp. Give me just a moment. And there we go, perfect. Right, and whilst we've got that there, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to upgrade this entire road. Do we have enough blocks? We're starting to get a little bit shy, honestly. We might not have quite enough to do all of that, no. But we've gotten a decent amount of the distance there. Right, and in fact, they've already managed to deliver a couple of extras, so that is perfect for us. Okay, we want a wagon then that will be responsible for bringing down some fertilizer from here all the way down here. Have we got any wagons delivering fertilizer elsewhere? We do. It is taking that fertilizer all the way over there. Well, actually, does this farm need that fertilizer or not? No, it doesn't. So perhaps what I should do is add an extra drop-off location then. If it can't deliver the fertilizer there, then it delivers it here, and if it can't deliver it there, then it delivers it here. And over time, this one wagon will get a lot of fertilizer to a lot of different farms, though it does massively increase its travel time, sadly. But we should see it. How's it going to try and make this trip? Let's have a watch of you. How is the fertilizer being used over here? Because once the field is fertilized, it doesn't need to be refertilized for quite some time. So let's have a watch of where you go next and how you go there. I think you'll probably take this route, I'm going to guess. Yes, that is exactly the route you take. Then you go over the brick for a little while, and then you're going to head straight back up. You know what? Might actually be much better if you would just take this route. But the sad thing here is that you're going to check this farm first. Well, I suppose that isn't the worst thing in the world, since I do want this farm to kind of have a bit of a priority. However, let's make things a little bit different as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have a pickup order of fertilizer here, followed on by a drop-off there, a drop-off here, and then finally a drop-off over there. By having two carts which prioritize the delivery destinations in an opposite order, really only the cotton one is the only one that is a second priority at this point. But it should mean that we're always going to have plenty of fertilizer moving around, and that is going to be perfect for us. There we go. We've got a bunch of herbs already. That is marvelous for us. Right, now what I would like to do down here is we're going to be using a silo. Specifically, I'm going to have the silo. Sure, let's have the silo. Okay, I'm sort of planning for the future, and I will move things around when that time comes. This is the problem with playing any game that you're very familiar with, is you can make very long-term plans. I'll quickly cover what I was thinking about, but we will cross that bridge when it comes to it. But if this were, for example, an open play game, just a procedurally generated map, I would absolutely have built a little dock for this, and maybe even a couple more of these, with a plan to later on moving things around by boat instead of wagon, because wagon has all sorts of logistics problems. A boat has an awful lot of room to dodge other boats, and so building with that in mind is sometimes quite a useful thing to do. But for the time being, we'll just have that delivered over there, nice and easy. Item filters, we'll just get the herbs once they're available, and that will be available for pickup from there on. On that note, we may in fact want to automatically have that delivered down here for now, but have this available for a wagon to collect as well. And I think that might actually be well worth our time. Now, if I do it this way, then if I take a conveyor belt straight out of this, then this will always have maximum priority. However, what if I don't want that? What if I do want a little bit of a stockpile of medicinal components available to my my larger colony? We'll have something like that over here, I think, just so that our peeps can get some medicine should they need it. Got a plan for the future, you know? There we go. Let's get this up. And I think from here we should be good to go. Yeah, let's bring this out all along, and then a little ramp down. There we go. This is actually going to be quite tightly packed here, but that's fine. So we want this to go all the way down like so, and then all the way out. Yeah, there we are. Perfect. This will then split the output evenly between the storage silo. I mean, there are other ways we could have done that by just drawing it out of here directly, but this should be fine. Now, the rest we want to gather, because that wasn't actually automatically set up, is herbs. But there we go. Now, with the herbs selected, we are going to start spreading them between these two destinations, and that's perfect. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pop a solid 5 people in here at all times. That's wonderful. And I then want a new wagon right there. There we go. And I would like you to gather these books and deliver them off there. And that is the only job you're going to have. I hope you enjoy it. Right, let's get this path back here so it's a little bit easier for our wagons to make the rounds. And also let's finish off laying that road as well, just so that we've got maximal speed for the wagons where we can. But that is perfect. We are now going to start generating nature research. And on that note, actually, we're actually fairly close to being able to do the next research we need for machinery. That will either be mining or steam. Now, it's really tempting to go for steam for the productive boost that we would give all of our buildings, but I am actually going to go for mining instead because of we want to try and maximize our sustainability options, and getting into mining earlier rather than later will maximize the length of time that we have our mineral nodes around for. So I think we're going to go for that one straight away. There we go. We've unlocked the mine. Now, the mine is going to take a little bit of effort to make because I do believe that the mine now requires pickaxes to build. Let me just double check that, though. Yes, 10 pickaxes and also 10 reinforced planks. Neither one of these, very easy for us to do. But oh well. Now, to make the reinforced planks, we're actually probably going to have to set up a little bit of an industry over here specifically to that end. If we have a look at one of the workshops, we can check what the recipe is for reinforced planks, and it is 1 iron plate, 1 nail to make the reinforced plank, and 1 reinforced plank and 1 iron plate to make the pickaxe. Not easy things for us to do. Not easy things for us to do at all, actually. But here we are. Now, as it stands, nails are fairly cheap and easy for us to produce. So I'm thinking I am going to continue selling them, but only when the workshop that needs them has a full inventory. So for the time being, I think we're going to go ahead, copy a workshop, and we're going to pop it just down over here, right there. Going to add in a little bit of extra flooring outside. That's wonderful. Now I would like this to do both. Make the pickaxe and indeed the reinforced planks. So I'm going to need to deliver planks, I'm going to need to deliver the iron plates, and indeed the nails. Now, which items have we got over here? You are taking nails, you are taking iron planks. Well, from now on, you've got a different job. I want you to collect iron plate, deliver them there, and then finally deliver them over here. And where are nails? Once again, I want you to pick them up here, drop them off there, and then only then will you drop them off over there if needed. Now all we need to do is bring along some planks, which I should have. We are actually not stockpiling the planks anyway, which is a bit of a problem, actually. What we could do is have this conveyor split them between... Well, actually, I could just collect them from the lumber mill itself, I suppose. That is totally an option, so sure. Pick up those up there and drop them off over there as you can. And while we're doing that, we're going to add a little bit more pathing around certain areas. All right, this little area is actually starting to become very, very active now, isn't it? Let's go ahead and add in a little bit of an extra path, though, up to there. And I think we're going to add in an extra house as well. There we go, lovely. That will build up over time. There we are. And this should already... Now, the problem here is that we are going to make the pickaxes out of the reinforced planks. As a consequence, we're never really going to have reinforced planks in stockpile until we have completely filled up a stockpile of pickaxes. And that's not exactly an ideal way of doing it. A better way is to have it split the reinforced planks between a barn and a workshop. Now, there is definitely one way that we could do that, but it kind of requires that we move a lot of things around. Let's have a look at what we can do. And there we go. You've seen me design this particular setup numerous times at this point, but just to gloss over it quickly, we've got... Oh, gloss over it? I mean, take a cursory glance at it. We've got planks, plate, and nails being delivered here. We are producing reinforced planks. That is then being split between a storage barn and the manufacturing area for the pickaxes. So now all we need left is... well, actually, I'm going to need to redesign this. So pick up from here, then drop off there, drop off here, and finally drop off here. So now the research for industry is getting a bit of a back seat. A little bit too much of a backseat, if I'm honest. I think we're probably going to want to do much the same that we've done elsewhere and drop off here, then drop off in the reverse order at these locations, just to make sure that everywhere is getting a bit of an even distribution of materials. But there we are starting to stockpile reinforced planks and indeed pickaxes, and this is marvelous. Right, with that, we're probably going to be able to build our first machine shop relatively quickly. We need 20 reinforced planks. We're up to 12. Okay, well, that's going to take us a little bit more time than that, but that should be fine. Now, one of the things that I would like to do here is if we have a look at reinforced planks and indeed at pickaxes themselves, they tend to generate quite copious amounts of happiness, and the happiness duration is quite long on them as well. They also generate quite a lot of red coins. However, I really don't want to sell these unless I have a very healthy stockpile of building materials. Not least because they will consume limited resources that we have here. Now, there are other places that we can get these resources. We've got a massive coal seam over there, and again over here, another mine down there, and we can probably move that around by boat in time, but that's not something that we're going to be doing just yet. But these are definitely saleable goods at some later stage. I'm going to wait until we've got a nice healthy stockpile before I start considering that, but it is something that we're likely going to be looking at in the fairly near future. Now, machine shop is ready to go, so let's plonk you down there and let's see what we can do with you. So, in terms of the recipes, we can make nails. One iron plate makes 2 nails, versus, if we have a look over here, 1 iron ore makes 1 nail. So actually, that's completely fair. It doesn't... Does it use extra fuel? No, it doesn't. So it's just requiring an extra bit of productive effort. That is not a problem at all. The iron gears and indeed iron wheels are important though, so we're going to want to set those up relatively quickly. Additionally, if we deliver wooden rails, we can then turn those into metal rails as we want to. Likewise, if we... Oh, wow. Actually, if we just deliver extra iron, we can just straight up make the metal conveyor belts. That one's an interesting one. I hadn't really considered that an option, if I'm perfectly honest. That's a very, very nice option. But I think what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to move this over here somewhere in much the same way. So let's go ahead and clear up this little area back there. There we go. And we're going to just slide this across and in there. At this stage, I'm going to want the iron to be split. I'm going to definitely want nails to be delivered. Iron wheels, probably. We're probably going to want iron wheels available as a building material. So I'm going to set iron wheels up as well, and we're also going to be setting this up to accept iron wheels. Let's go ahead and make that change. There we go. There we are, perfect, and there we can now accept it in there as well. Right, let's get the nails delivered, and indeed the iron wheels. So let's change these up. So this one will be nails, this one will be iron wheels. Excellent. And we are now going to delete that out completely, and this one as well, because at this stage I would like to have these delivered like so. There we are, and we're going to want a logistics block, taking care of that. I really should have disabled the nail recipe prior to setting all that up, because now we've got a stockpile full of nails, sadly, but that is just what it's going to be, unfortunately. Right, I'm going to need a temporary cart just to get rid of the nails out of here, and to save time, I'm just going to have them drop off directly that way. We'll get everything we need done where we can. There we go. Are you doing that as well? You are just... No, you are delivering over there. That's perfect. Okay, so we'll empty out the nails from here fairly quickly. And we are already producing nails on this side. Now, again, we're going to hit the same sort of problem. The nails are going to fill up first. But following that, we'll start producing the iron wheels. Now, iron wheels are going to enable us to make a couple of new items. But now that we have got the reinforced planks, we can finally make caravans. This is going to be grand. This is going to massively change our hauling around. You can head back into retirement. Thank you very much for your service. Okay, so with all of that done, let's just double check on research, see how things go. We've got a lot of nature research points. My goodness. I am a little bit surprised by that, if I'm perfectly honest. Okay, let's have a quick gander. We can get the fishery up and running, which is one of our requirements, and basic medicine. We're going to grab both. Basic medicine is going to allow us to build the apothecary and the medicine hut. The medicine hut, and this is why I built the silo, is where we're going to be able to take herbs and a few other things as well in some cases and produce some medicines that we can then sell to... Oh, actually, sorry, that is just new research. I was under the impression there that it was telling me the medicine had made it, but no. We can also make bandages out of cloth, which is going to be very, very useful, and you'll notice that these sell for blue coins, which is going to be a bit of an important one for us. Right, let's get the fishery. How does one build a fishery? As that will be wonderful to get out of the way. We need blue coins to unlock Nature Tome 2. That kind of makes sense. They're all built off from one another. But fishery, where are you? Let's find you. Fairly simple building to make. Okay, we only need one of them. But the fishery is different from gathering fish from a fishing point. It just gathers fish. Just straight up. As long as it's got access to water, boom, there we go. It will generate fish. We'll set that up right now. There we are. And that's it. We no longer need this boat doing any work whatsoever. In fact, we don't need that either. I'm going to wait for this to be emptied out first, though, before we do anything else with the fishery. But honestly, I could put a fishery over here and have some food delivered up to the marketplace here as well, which would not be a bad idea, all things said and done. Let's see. Could I bring this down here nice and simple like? Yes, I can. Well, that's absolutely marvellous. Though, I don't know. It feels a little bit wrong to do it like that. So let's have, instead, a little regular path. I feel that is a little bit more fitting for this little path down to the fishery. Yes, it's going to mean that my vehicles move a little bit slower, but that's just the way it's going to have to be. Now, can I get... Ooh, it's a little bit too low. Well, I think we can make it work. Let's pop you down there. There you go. And we'll then also build out a little path across to it. Might be a little bit too low, actually. Right, okay, we may need to move this forward just a tad. Something like that will do. And we are going to flesh this out just a little bit because I care about it looking right. And that should do marvellously. Can I put a floor? Oh, my lord. I can't. That is going to vex me. No small amount. I'm not gonna tell any lies here. That is actually so bad. I am tempted to remove the whole fishery idea, but I'm gonna try and stick with it for now. For my meeples, I want them to have a good diet of fish. But that is the only reason I'm willing to put up with this. Oh my lord, it's already scratching my brain. Why have you done this to me, game? Right, let's get these in place. There we go. And there we are. Little dock there. And perhaps we could pop on a little bit of decor as well. A little lamppost just to light the way. Lovely. Now, we could grab a single wagon. And I think so, yeah. Let's grab a single wagon. And I want to set this up to collect fish. There you go. You can go, pick up fish, deliver fish. It's a nice, simple journey for you to make. There we are. It's not the easiest journey down that not cobbled path, but, you know, I'm sure you'll make do. The main thing is that we will easily be able to stockpile enough fish for this. I could cook the fish as well, but I'm going to leave that to the peeps here to do their own cooking. Right, you can now pick up fish from here and deliver it directly to the kitchen. There we are, that one will already be full. So that's fantastic, we've already managed to complete that. Right, next up then, let's have a look. How are we doing for pickaxes? Can I add pickaxes up here just so I can see? We've got 50 pickaxes already. That is glorious news because we do need at least one mine. So let's go ahead and build this. Let's find you, there we are. Now a mine is much like a farm or a lumber yard, actually a lumber yard or a quarry indeed. It's very easy to liken it to these buildings which have an area of effect, but the mine does have a little bit more to it. For now though, I think I'm actually going to relieve these meeple of their task there, and we're going to build our first mine to quarry stone for us. There we go. It feels a little bit odd calling it a mine when all it's going to do is quarry stone, but there we are. That looks ridiculous. I can't. No, we're gonna shunt it to the side a little bit, even though it does. I'm actually going to get rid of some of the stone just to make this look less silly. There we go. That'll do. Right. So the way that this, let me take off move. Right now, it's got stone within its area, but it can mine pretty much any mineral. It takes 4 productive effort to gather the basic minerals, so iron, coal, stone. For crystals, it takes a lot more, and gold takes an awful lot more, which is ironic because gold is actually fairly easy to mine, at least compared to just rock it is. Right, let's see. Add yellow coin booster. I don't think we're going to need that. This is going to produce... Well, how about we actually get up to 1 stone? Oh, sorry, that's 2 stone per second that way. So, no, that's perfect. 1 stone a second right there. We can use a chute for this, straight out. There we are. And done. Have we selected everything correctly? There we go. Excellent. That will take care of all of that for us. And doing so without meeple input. Right. Coal mining? No. Let's get you out of there. I would love to say that the coal mines are purely automated, run by machines, which don't have to worry about, lung damage. But sadly, probably not the case. It is probably still meeple down in the mines, but nevertheless, it's a slightly better scenario than before. Right, let's get another mine over here. It'll be costly, though, because pickaxes, that's crazy value right there. Let's pop this right about here. We'll have access to all of this coal. It's going to be a bit of a snaking path, I'm not going to lie to you, but it'll have to do. Right, there we go. And we'll just have a little bit of a coal buffer. There we are. We can get rid of that then as well. Actually, we could have a little path up to this, just so that we've got access to it, should we want to. Once again, I would... Oh, this one is only producing 1 stone, so I do need to have 3 meeple working here to have 1 stone per second. That being said, I could pay more money, and I'm going to do that. Look, okay, it's required. I come from Wales. I've got a very storied history with coal mines. If I can spend money to reduce the amount of people having to work in there, and in my head, giving them better, more efficient mining gear, then that is what I'm going to do. I'm stupidly rich. It's not going to be a problem. Right, let's go ahead and set up a little mine over here as well, so that we can clear out these meeple from this job too, and then we have got all of the mines that we want. I'm going to need to be one tile closer to be able to make this work for us, though. That being said, I could do it on this side and just have the chute elevated, and that might be a better way of doing it. I'm a little bit concerned about having this overhanging, but okay. Apparently this mine is supported by a wood... No, we're not going to have it supported by wooden... Oh, my lord. Okay, we're going to move the mine temporarily, because that's just dumb. We are going to build up some stone blocks for that support. That makes it feel ever so slightly less stupid. Only slightly less stupid, though. Right, we don't want all of you there. Let's get you back in your homes. There you go. And we shall build the mines chute up there. Perfect. Marvellous. Right, let's make sure that this is grabbing iron. Once again, coin booster, so that we can get 1 iron a second. Excellent. That is perfect. That is probably going to be producing more iron plate than we are currently capable of storing. That's actually amazing. Right, I don't want anything stored in here. I want to remove that storage component completely. I wish there was a way that I could just turn that off. But once something has been stored in a place, it seems to reserve that part of the UI. So the best you can do is just ban it from having anything else. Because if I were to say that anything could go here, it would just fill itself up with iron. But the iron would be in storage, not in output. So it would kind of be in limbo in a way. That is one way, though, that you can make it so that your buildings are able to stockpile materials. It's for delivery rather than sending it out for further construction. But it's not exactly the best way, in my opinion. Right, as things stand, though, we are doing very well over here. However, I am absolutely going to say I would like more meeple working here. Getting up to the point where we are able to produce one of these every second, unnecessary. We're not delivering that much iron plate, so that's not going to be something we need to worry about over much. Right, how are things going down here? We're doing quite well. We're currently waiting on more book deliveries. Now, one thing I'm going to say, this is going to be a perfect place for us to use a wagon, and I'm actually really excited to get wagons going because we're probably going to replace a lot of our fleet of a caravan rather than a wagon. A very large portion of our current wagon fleet is going to be replaced by caravans. Right, let's get you to drop off there. Thank you. All right, you can go. And as soon as you are done with this job, you can go as well. There we are. Marvelous. Now, you might be wondering, why am I doing that? Am I just upgrading them? Well, I mean, you can just straight upgrade, but the Caravan has one... It can carry twice as much as a wagon can. A wagon can carry 4 items. A Caravan can carry 8 items per slot. But where the biggest improvement over a wagon exists is that it's got 4 slots. So this thing can carry an awful lot of materials. Now, I believe that you can actually set up, well, let's set up a caravan for basics first. What I would like in here, I'm going to very, very specifically tell you what to put in there. I would like, the regular tome of industrial knowledge, regular tome of natural knowledge. The other 2 should be disabled. I don't want you to pick anything up in these. That being said, I could allow them to pick up whatever's on hand and just, dump that off as well. In fact, that might not be a bad idea. There we go. So we could allow that to happen. We'll tell you to pick up. Just grab whatever's available and drop it off. Now, one single vehicle is going to do all of that work. There we are. If we have a look at it, we'll see what it picks up from here in a moment. There we are. It's grabbed 2 nature tomes. That's all that's there. But now we haven't got a wagon basically perpetually sat here waiting on industrial tomes. We don't need it. And there we go. We're grabbing both of them at the same time. Now these ones, it would allow to be filled with whatever happened to be there. So for example, if there were 16 nature tomes, it would pick up 16. Whereas if I expressly told it not to collect them, then these would be going wanting. However, I would like to see if we can set up a more interesting delivery route. If I were to place... Well, actually, we're already bringing books down in a different way. But I'm interested to see if it would at all be possible. And I'm willing to expend a little bit of effort here in doing that. So we're going to collect regular books. Now, our delivery queue is going to be pick up what you can from here, drop it off there, and then pick... Can we get pick up from over here? Or can we not? We cannot. Oh no, there we go. We can actually tell them pick up from here, and then I guess we could have it just drop off there, perhaps. But sure, let's do pick up from there, and then drop off here. Now I would like to see how it does this queue. Will it do the whole thing in one go? Does it do it sequentially? I'm not sure. So it drops off there, goes and picks up some books. Maybe. No, the grabbers are grabbing the books a little bit too quickly. Yeah, okay, so it's unnecessary. But it only waited for a little while before moving on, which is actually kind of interesting. So it's not going to get bottlenecked in the same way. Either way, though, I think that is not exactly the best way of doing things. So we're going to set that up as we had it previously. So pick up anything you can from here, then drop all of it off there, and that is now your job for forever. Enjoy. And there you go. As you can see, things have quietened down a little bit, though. This part, our industrial town, is still by far the most active, but our little farming, or well, I guess lumbering, our forestry town, has grown a little bit sleepy by comparison to the hustle and bustle that it used to have with just wagons. So as I say that, we get a delivery from multiple points right now. That one was delivering some excess fish from the industrial town. Okay, so now with that all done, it's time for us to start looking at the next steps. Currently, we need to make metal conveyor belts, metal rail. Neither of these we can do thanks to research, and fish stew. Additionally, we need to make metal rail purely to get to the final tech level, which is also a requirement. So given that, I'm going to say that metal rail is probably one of the more important in terms of our progress. Conveyor belts are probably more important in terms of our just productive effort, our industry, and the fish stew is just, delicious. Either way, let's go ahead and have a look at what we can do. Now, we've only got 100 industry research points, but we could get metal rail with that, or metal conveyor. It's either or, really, for this one. I think we're going to go with metal rails, though. Let's go ahead and get this on the go. Now, what are we going to need to make metal rail? If we have a look in here, metal rail can be made from either a delivery of lumber, stone, and then 2 plates to make the metal rail, or we can use wooden rail. Now, I don't believe we're actually producing wood rail anywhere in... Oh, no, we actually are producing wood rail down here. Well, then there we go then. So we do have wood rail available, so we might as well just deliver the wood rail over here, wholesale, and make the metal rail out of it. Now, that being said, we are going to start really hurting for iron plates very, very soon. So I'm going to say, let's go ahead and really redouble our efforts. Currently, we're using 4 productive effort to get 1 iron ore per second. We will need, well, actually, let's have a look. Yeah, we'll need 2 iron ore per second to get 1 iron plate, but we have got so many things that are going to be using that now that I'm going to say let's go up to the point where we're able to bring in, if we had 1 extra person there, we're now able to bring in 3 iron ore a second. That's not really going to improve things here too much, but let's try our best. So that's giving us 1 iron plate per second. Let's take this at least up to, there we go, so it's 1.5. So we're basically going to be using the iron ore as fast as it's entering the system. Now, how does that put us for coal? Probably, well, it's a little bit different with coal because 1 unit of coal is not being used up at a time. It is 1 unit of coal produces 4 units of fuel, and we're using 2 units of fuel each. Either way, we're going to slowly decline our stockpile, so I'm going to increase that just ever so slightly up to 2 units of coal a second. That is more than we're going to need. I'm using gold coins for the most of that, and it just doesn't matter that I'm using gold coins for it. It isn't going to be a concern for us. Now, let's go ahead and get you set up to bring out the metal rails. There we go. And we'll set this up to accept metal rails. And we should be golden in that regard. There we are. Now, I am going to need to bring over the wooden rails themselves. Let's have a look. I've got a delivery. It's kind of doing a lot of things already. Yeah, it doesn't really have the room in there to do any more. However, have I got any spare caravans? This one is taking care of the stone that we were bringing up. We had 2 wagons dealing with this, bringing up stone up to here and then cloth down from there. And this is doing a very good job of that right now. But really, could it afford to do iron rails as well? Probably. Probably, if I'm honest. Right, let's... well, actually, that was a bit silly. That was the one that I least needed to get rid of. Let's add in a wooden rail trip. So I'm going to redefine this route. So first, I want you to pick up from here. Stone. I want you to drop that stone off there. Next, I want you to pick up cloth and wooden rails. I would like you to drop off the rails over here, and then drop off the cloth over here. Let's go ahead and do that. And then if you've got anything else, you can sell it. And for this, since I've done that, I'm going to say that this is now a free floating. About the only thing I don't want it to be is stone, if I'm perfectly honest. But, oh, well, it probably is going to be stone. Can I sell stone? Let me just double check that first. I can't just sell stone. So, maybe allowing that to be free floating is not worth it. Can I sell wooden rails, though, is another question. I can't sell wooden rails either. So, you know what? Leaving that as cloth is probably the best thing to do. Right, now let's have a quick watch. So you've got a very different set of orders now. Now, unfortunately, it hasn't actually got any wooden rail in there. That was... Oh, no, I tell a lie. I did actually dump the stone. So that's fine. Now, we're going to head down here, see if the bookmaker needs any extra cloth. It did. Have we got any leftovers? We do. So we're going to go and drop those off. There we go. And we're just keeping the gears of industry turning. Marvellous. And then we come back there. Notice that the caravan didn't go back down here to pick up more stone, because it didn't need to. It already had a full stone inventory. It is intelligent enough to skip steps which are completely redundant. However, if it had only stone in its inventory, I think it would still try and go and see if the general store wanted to buy it. It might not, but I suspect that we might be expecting a little bit too much of the logistics system there if we wanted to make those kinds of intelligent choices. Nevertheless, we are now producing the metal rail that we're going to need. Now, the thing is here, we're actually going to need to store more than I can. That's a shame. I'm going to have needed to make 100 over time. Now, there's an easy way of me doing that. I can just dump the inventory so that we make more. And that might be where we go. But in the meanwhile, it is time for us to consider our options with making fish stew. Now, fish stew is made of... Let's have a quick look. To make fish stew, we're going to need butter, which means we're going to need milk, just a little bit of milk. We're going to need cooked fish, already making those here. We're also going to need tomatoes, not making those anyway. So we're going to need pasture for the milk and a farm for the tomatoes. The farm could probably also do double duty on making the grain to feed into the pasture. And then we're just going to need a source of fish. You know what? I think we've given the lion's share of the good food to the forestry town. I think it's time that our industry town over here, the mining town, get a little bit of good noms. They're doing an awful lot of hard work. They need good noms for said hard work. So, with that in mind, let's work from the bottom up, because I know exactly what I'm going to be building. So, let's go with farm. Now, this is going to be a tricky one. There's not a lot of good farmland around here, if I'm completely honest with you. That said, we could pop a farm over here. You know what? Yeah. Oh, this is going to be glorious. Let's just see if this works out the way I'm kind of imagining them having tomato vines up here. Okay, it's not wine, it's not the same. But in my head, it's kind of the same right now. There we are. We're going to have the grain over on this side. We're going to have the tomatoes up on the hillside. It's going to look lovely. Let's plant the tomato plants. There we are. Oh, I've planted them all across the hillside. You know, that's fine. We'll just do that. And then we want grain in the fields down here. Now, I'm going to need to add a new stop to my fertilizer caravan as well. Let's make sure that we've got a nice, easy route over here. I want it to be on this level. So, 2 layers down, I would say. Let's do something like that. Should be good enough. And then we just need it to come out front there. There we are. Now, the reason why I'm doing this now is because we are almost certainly going to want to put a lot of roads around here. There's a lot of things that we're going to need the caravans to be able to reach. So let's get a regular road all the way down here, and then we'll take a path up there. And you know what? We could maybe squeeze in a little house. Ah, it's lovely. A farmer's cottage next to the farm. Or maybe this is the house for the farm hands. Hard to say, really. But I think it's glorious all the same. Right, let's find the fertilizer wagon. Where be you? The easiest way to do that is to find whichever... Oh, no, it just shows me where they're being delivered to. Let's find you, fertilizer wagon. You're here somewhere. You are not here. Okay, well, let's allow things to move. There we are. Found you. Right, okay, so I'm going to give you a different set of duties. You're going to pick up from here. I'm going to try and do all of this in one round trip. Deliver there, 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 and over here is the last drop-off, and then you swing back around. It's a nice circuit for you. There we are. Now, we are obviously going to need some wells as well. That is never going to feel normal to say. Wells as well. Well. Oh, my lord, I said another well. I'm not even doing it on purpose. This hurts me as much as it hurts you, I assure you. All right, let's get this set up. We'll have some water. Oh, the wrong thing. Let's have some water just going straight in there. Marvellous. Okay, there we go. Getting everything on the go. That actually looks amazing. Look, I've been handed an opportunity, okay? I'm going to make a little bench right next to the well. We're going to get rid of that one. There we go. And then we're going to add in a little lamppost next to this house. Ah, truly marvellous. Okay, so there we go. It's the little things, you know? It's the little things. Right, next up, we're going to want a pasture. And in fact, we're also going to need a grain mill to turn the grain that we're going to gather, which we're going to gather a lot of, in fact, into animal feed. Now, where would be the best place to pop said grain mill? Let's see. Food mill. I will eventually get better at doing that. So we can have the food mill right at the back here. I would rather have some proper solid foundations at the back if I'm going to do that, though. So something like this. Maybe even that, in fact. We will then allow this to deliver across into the grain mill, but also, I think, a silo. Because I've got a sneaking suspicion that I'm not going to be using up the grain as fast as I'm going to be producing it. So let's get the food mill here. There we are. This will be set up to produce animal feed directly out of grain. And I'm going to want a... Let's make sure that you're pointing the right way. There we go. A chute that will split up the material down here. There we go. Now it'll go into the grain mill as a priority. Let's set this up for rather food mill. Oh my lord! I'm I literally just said I was going to get better, and then I didn't. I'm sorry for accidentally breaking my promise. There we go. The reason why I'm going to have that then is I suspect that we might be able to use that grain. If nothing else, we could just drop it off in the food market. I could possibly make the grain both into... Ooh, actually, you know what? That's a better idea. I could go ahead, and if I end up with more grain than necessary, make it into flour, and then feed that into a kitchen. Because we're going to need a kitchen around here. In fact, it is probably good that we've got these trees here, so let's not get rid of too many of them. We're going to want a pasture, and the pasture can be right about here, I suppose. In fact, we can have the pasture passing on straight in there. Yeah, that works for me. Let's get this out the way. There we go. I would like this running all the way up to the side. That way the grain mill is connected. Ah, crap. I'm just going to shut my mouth. If I stop talking about the mill, I can't possibly call it the wrong thing. That's the way I'm going to think about it. Right, let's add in some flour as well. And this one will be set up to take the flour. Now, I'm not going to be able to guarantee which one goes in which direction, but we'll see what we can do. I would like milk. Oh, actually. Here we are, bringing this fertilizer down here, when in reality, we really don't need to at all. Well, where is the fertilizer wagon? No, that's not you. Where is my fertilizer wagon? Is that it? No. There we go. I'm going to change this up. We're going to pick up from over here and go back to the original design with just a few drop-offs. There we go. Because I should be able to just deliver fertilizer directly from the back here. Sure. Let's do that. And
Once again, bring this up all along. We're going to... Well, sure. Let's bring that up a little bit higher. And then we'll have the fertilizer taken direct out the back there. We're going to need... Can we move that via... Yeah, we can move it via chute. I always seem to forget that. Right, so... There we go. And then this can just be delivered in there. Now, we're going to stockpile the fertilizer as a consequence, but that's fine to me. We're going to need some extra water, though. So how about another couple of wells? In fact, we could have a well just down here, though. Do I really want to be bringing in salt water? Oh, there we go. We can get the next tech level. Fantastic. New research available. Cargo ships. We're almost certainly not going to be using that. But I do need to make more. So, sadly, metal rail needs to be dumped so that I've got more room to add some more of that. Now, what are we lacking to make the well? Let's have a gander, shall we? We aren't lacking anything. Okay, well, I wasn't really sure why I couldn't build that down there, but okay. I'm not super keen on feeding our cattle seawater. Let's not, shall we? Let's instead use some more wooden pipes up there, and then just deliver this straight down there. There we go. That'll be fine, I should imagine. Right, so that should start production of milk as soon as we've got a production of wheat. Let's set these up. So we want tomatoes and grain being collected. There we are. Now, obviously, we're going to need a lot of workers here, and that explains the need for the extra home for the farmhands. There we are, and this is going to start producing everything we need. Right, we're also going to need the tomatoes being brought out of the farm, but that can be managed in a moment. Next step then, we're going to cut through there. We want a kitchen. Let's go find you. Please and thank you. Marvellous. And we'll also bring that all the way up there. Okay, so what are we going to be making down here? Well, first and foremost, we will be making butter. Secondly, we will be making fish. Oh, actually, no, we're going to have to cook fish. So, cooked fish. And then finally, the fish stew. Marvellous. There we go. We're almost up to the point where we can unlock metal conveyors as well, which is really, really good. Now, I'm going to guess that milk is not going to roll down a conveyor. I mean, sorry, a chute. I mean, it would possibly be transported down the chute, but not in a way that you'd, have a glass of milk at the end of it, or one that you'd want to drink, at least. So, we'll err on the side of caution. Let's bring this out. I need it to be about yay tall. There we are. And this is quite a tall chute that we're going to be building over here, but should be fine, I think. Am I out? I'm out of planks. Okay, well, I wasn't expecting that, if I'm perfectly honest. Alright, where am I storing the planks? Yeah, I'm storing them down here, but not very quickly. Let's increase things over here then. I would like to add some more cash into this. Get those planks being output as fast as they can. Oh, I see. You know what? It's got nothing to do with the speed that the planks are being made. It's got everything to do with how we're transporting them. There we are. That will dramatically speed things up. Okay, there we go. I was going to say that's very uncommon for planks to be the thing that I'm lacking in my designs. Right, let's bring this out. We're going to want to bring it up a little bit more. And once again, we're going to have to wait a little bit. But whilst that's happening, we can unlock the next tier of research, or rather, the next item of research, and that is the metal conveyor. Right, let's go and find out what we're going to need to do to make that. As I suspected, it does look like this episode is going to be the last one of this map. And maybe the series. Do let me know down in the comments if you would like to see me tackle the next campaign map. But metal conveyor, if we bring along cloth conveyors, all we need are gears and iron plates. So we can make the gears there. And we should be able to make the... I mean, we can just make it straight out of the iron plate. But honestly, iron plate is enough of a limiting factor that I would rather do it this way. Now, this does pose a problem of where I'm going to put said plates. How about I make a new barn? Sorry, not plates, conveyors. Let's actually rotate that. I think I would rather that. Yeah, there we go. We're going to want to set this up to accept the metal conveyors. Now, much like a cloth conveyor over a wooden conveyor, it just improves the throughput. There we go. That is now delivering cloth to a couple of places. I'm afraid we're going to have to change this up once again. This is going to have to be dumped. I should have waited for them to sell it. But that's going to have to pick up cloth conveyors. So let's get you set up. So first, wow, you are doing a lot of jobs, to be fair. Let's grab this. I would then like you to drop that off there. I would then like you to pick up the cloth. Oh, that's not right. Let's start that again. So pick up. Oh, okay. I had shift held down. You don't need to hold it down. You just need to have it pressed when you click on something, and I keep forgetting that. I expect that if I stop holding it down, it'll stop acting as you would expect, like a multi-select would. There we go. So the next thing we're going to want to do is pick up the cloth, the conveyor, and indeed the rail. Go drop off everything you can over here. Then drop off everything you can over here. Then finally, if you can drop off nothing more, just sell whatever you've got in your inventory. And that should work marvelously for us. Right, let's make sure that this is actually hooked up to the main network. So having a road there will finally connect it properly. I didn't realize that we didn't have that already. Right, let's make this for metal conveyors. And we are almost done with everything we need for this map. And I'm really, really happy with that. Though, also a little bit sad. Not going to lie. Alright, let's bring this out and along. Quite the length that these tomatoes are going to have to go. Also, completely surplus to demand this section, so I can pull that all back right now. In fact, I realise that I don't need... I'm going to need a platform there, but I don't need it to be this high. The moment I've taken the corner, I lose any real speed benefit, so I may as well just allow things to exit the farm at the speed that it wants to be. And then just drag that across and all the way up. There we go. 2 ramps will do the job. And then finally, as tomatoes obviously can... Well, I guess it isn't necessarily obvious, but they can go down a chute, or at least they could the last time I played the game. We're going to be able to set that up. So tomatoes, out here please. There we go. Perfect. Right. That is almost everything we need for our fish stew. Tomatoes being delivered. We've already got all of the butter that we could possibly use. Now we need the fish and finally the fuel. Right then. Okay, so you've got a new job. I would like you to drop off the fish down here. Then pick up any fish stew you can. And I guess I could pick up a couple of other things really, but let's not worry about it. Then I would like you to drop it off there. And if you can't drop everything off, you always will, but if you couldn't, you can drop it off further back as well. So at this point, I now need to tell you expressly to keep certain room available. There we are, fish stew, right there. I don't mind if you fill up the rest of your storage slots with other odds and sods. Honestly, whatever you can fit in there, you're more than welcome to. Right, finally then, we need a source of fuel. So I'm going to dig this area back just a wee bit. Get ourselves a forester up and running. Right there will do. And then have these logs fuel the ovens. There we go. Let's make sure that we're bringing in a decent amount. So at least 1 log a second. As for you, there we go. We are making our first fish stews. Slowly. We're making them very, very slowly. Let's increase the speed at which we make the fish stews. My lord. There we are. Oh, this is truly glorious, though. I'm so happy with this. And we are actually producing more milk out there. So we could possibly even just collect the milk if we really wanted to. We can do that. Sure. Alright, so the way that we're going to do this, because we've got very little room here, is I'm going to have this move down in this way. I'm going to have the grabber pull from the pasture here, the milk. I am then going to have a priority. If I can put milk into the kitchen, I want the milk going in the kitchen. But if I can't, store it in a silo. And then we're going to find the wagon that's making the deliveries. Oh. Were they unable to accept it? Perhaps they were. Wow. Alright. Well, either way, I suppose I'll wait on you getting a little bit further along, but there we are. We've already completed the metal rail. We are making some swift progress on the conveyor. We are actually making the fish stews a lot faster than I was expecting, if I'm perfectly honest. Let's see. You're heading back now to collect fish. Are you not dropping these off? Oh! Ha 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 ha! I almost did a silly. Well, I did do a silly, but no one saw it. There's absolutely no evidence of the silly ever occurring. Right, let's see. Where is the tavern? I do believe that fish stew has to be sold at a tavern rather... yes, sellable at a tavern. There we go. Okay, well, tavern it is. Let's get a tavern right next to the market. Oh, that's going to make everyone here super happy. And finally, you're going to feel like you're getting the best out of things. Right, I'm going to want to allocate a spot for milk. Actually, no. No, we will leave that empty for a very specific reason. So, Caravan, the first thing I want you to do is collect fish. Next, I want you to drop said fish off. Drop off everything. Next, I want you to collect any fish stew. Then I want you to collect any milk. Then, I would like you to drop off at the tavern if you can. If you can't, sell at this one. And if you can't sell there, sell over here. There you go. Look, we need a tavern in the industry town. I keep thinking of this as the farming town, but it really isn't. It's the logging town, so you kind of need a tavern too. But there's no way in this level that, with the current setup, that I am going to produce enough fish stews to make use of that. So we're not going to bother. Not for now, anyway. Let's go ahead and drop everything off that we can. There we go. Marvelous. We couldn't collect any milk, though we've got quite a lot of fish stew ready. Let's see how the people enjoy this. Look at that. They enjoyed that a lot. Look at the happiness level. Ah, glorious. And since we had nothing else to pick up, we're heading straight back down to the fishery to collect some more fish. Okay, let's see if you actually do ever collect any milk. Is there any milk there to collect? Yeah, there's definitely some milk there. And there we are. Yeah, we've picked up some extra milk. So, using the space. Honestly, the logistics update, just being able to queue orders has been such a massive improvement to the game. There we are. Let's increase the house level. We're not even using the population options that we have, but we're rapidly approaching the point where we are less than half utilizing the amount of homes we could have. So how about I drop down a couple more homes? It'll allow them to eat the food a little bit faster as well. Sure, let's go ahead and build a platform out here. I'd rather use a solid platform for a house rather than just a scaffolding. Call me silly, if you will. There we go. I'm not sure if this is going to be connected to the town. It isn't connected to the town. Is that one connected to the town? It kind of is. So it is getting something, but it's not really. Oh, actually, no. Maybe it's just the fact that town doesn't have a name yet. But we'll see. If you are actually satisfied right now, I don't think you will be. Unfortunately, I think you're a little bit too far out. So, you know what? Let's change things up a little bit again then. Let's grab that right there. We'll have a home. I think this is about as far out as we are going to be able to fit it. But sure, let's have a home right there. We'll flash that out as well. There we go, and move you along. I think this. There we go. You are now within the boundaries. Oh, we've run out of iron. Wow, that was unfortunate. fortunate. But the mining layer... Oh, we can't actually see any ores down here. You can research with a mine to the point where you gain access to the mining layer. And at the mining layer, you've got a certain degree of renewability of the ore. At least it used to work that way, though I am aware that they have changed the way that infusion from mana crystals works now, so that may indeed have changed that as well. What are we waiting on right now? We are waiting on some more milk. Let's make sure that the milk is coming through then, please. Let's see. Yes, we're waiting on milk over anything else right now. Is that getting delivered properly? No. No, it's not. Okay, well, in that case, I need to change the way this works. So, instead, we want the cloth conveyor belt. I don't want the grabber there. I want that to be loaded in like so. There we are. But I do want it to be split as well. So let's have a splitter right there. That should mean that this will occasionally get some milk. There we go, that's perfect. Alright. This way, I would have preferred it to be a prioritization, but it didn't look like... Oh, did I use the right one? I used one way instead of pusher, didn't I? I think I did. Yes, I did. Alright. So my original system was correct. You'll be happy to know. I was doing things the right way. I just slightly not. It was the alternative right way. There we go. That should now prioritize delivery of milk to the kitchen wherever possible. But there we are. We've completed this level, and I couldn't be happier. As I mentioned, do let me know down in the comments or with a like on the video if you are interested in seeing me try on campaign level 4. But that is it for campaign level 3. Let's head on out to the main menu, and we'll take a quick glimpse at what that campaign would be. In fact, that's the last campaign that I have ever completed, but again, things will be very different. And as you can tell from the icon, it's going to involve trains. Not really optionally either. The scale of campaign level 4 is going to necessitate the use of rail, and I believe introduces the concept of trading at a few of the trading shacks that kind of pre-generate around the map. But that is going to be it for today's episode. I really do hope you have enjoyed. Do let me know what you're thinking about Factory Town and the changes that have been implemented by the developer, and I will possibly see you in the next episode. But until then, and as always, do take care, everyone.